Coming up on TVM-News. The Rail Riders opening day took place at PNC Field on Wednesday, after being delayed by 1 day due to rain. Also, we have news on a car fire on Interstate 81 in Scranton. And we have news on the use of missile interceptors to counter the Houthi threat in the Red Sea. All that and much more, coming up on TVM-News.
Good afternoon and welcome to TV-Marywood News. Today is Friday, April 11th. I'm Alexia Bauer.
And I'm Caitlin Klotz. Today we have news about a car fire near Main Avenue.
We also have news about a tattoo artist who was arrested this past Tuesday.
And we'll be checking in with weather anchor Brielle Sheeland and sports anchor Vincent Goldschmidt to find out the latest in Marywood and professional sports.
On Sunday, April 13th, the Marywood dance team is performing at the Set Laverghetta Center for Performing Arts from room 100 Theater from 7:30 to 9 p.m. For more information, contact rhauser@marywood.edu.
Coming to a head on the end of the 2025 spring semester, Easter break begins on Wednesday, April 16th and concludes on April 22nd.
This past week, Marywood held its Kindness Week in the Fireplace Lounge. For more, we'll go to Tara Gladney.
Happy Kindness Week, Pacers! Marywood-University's Learning Commons is celebrating good deeds towards others with fun challenges all week. Students can participate in whichever ways they like, from delivering flowers to sharing a compliment. If you're uncertain of which event you'd like to take part in, feel free to take a look at the posters displayed throughout the library to find out which one is right for you. With TVM News, this is Tara Gladney.
Join the Office of Alumni Engagement and the Marywood Alumni Association Board for the Marywood Day of Service on Saturday, April 12th. If you are giving back in your own community, register on the Marywood website and let us know how you are giving back. All registered attendees will get a free Marywood Alumni Association t-shirt while supplies last. If you are interested, please enter your size on the Marywood website under Marywood Day of Service. And if you live outside of NEPA, enter the mailing address where we should mail your shirt.
On Friday, April 11th, there will be an undergraduate curriculum committee meeting. It will be held on Zoom from 3 to 5 p.m. For more information, contact aricho@marywood.edu.
When we come back, we'll tell you about a local government official who stole $40,000.
Look! 911, where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened?
Your friend's not safe.
She's dead? Please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Inside the Troop Civic Center, flyers for Eddie Kaufman hang on bulletin boards and in doorways, each one asking for help as he battles leukemia. While there's been some progress, Kaufman's father says doctors are looking for perform a bone marrow transplant. The mission is simple. Encourage people to take a simple swab test to see if there's a possible donor. Dick's House of Sports in the Viewmont Mall will be hosting swab events Saturday, April 12th and Sunday, April 13th from 12 to 5 p.m.
21-year-old Haley Gillow and a 15-year-old female were charged after they allegedly attacked a 19-year-old pregnant woman at a park on April 1st. A woman and juvenile are accused of attacking a pregnant woman in Clinton County. According to the Clinton County District Attorney's Office, they attacked in a playground area of Hoberman Park in Lock Haven on April 1st.
A former administrator of Music's local government and sitting councilwoman stole more than $40,000 in the borough funds by adding hundreds of hours of extra sick time to the total she cashed out. When she retired, the end of 2023, the district attorney's office said in a criminal complaint. This week, Music's office officials called on Jane Sterling to resign from borough council and criminal charges of theft and unlawful use of a computer. She is free on $25,000 unsecured bail, pending primarily hearing April 22nd.
A tattoo artist from Luzerne County allegedly raped a client who found him online and stopped by his home earlier this month for new ink, police said. Then police in Edwardsville searched through Elijah Wright's home for evidence of the reported assault. They found a loaded handgun he's not supposed to have because of a larceny conviction in New York. He was arrested right before a judge for an arraignment Tuesday night. Court records show he is next due in court for a preliminary hearing on April 22nd. It was unclear if Wright has an attorney.
Vine Pharmacy in Benton opened its doors in 2018. Owner and pharmacist Charlotte Moss is busy filing prescriptions. She says she started the pharmacy after noticing a need for in the borough. Moss says she is closing the doors because of a struggle with insurance companies not reimbursing the full amount as well as in the timely matter. Moss says the insurance companies were also taking additional fees out of what they were paying. Prescription records will be sent to the CVS on New Berwick Highway in Bloomsburg, about 19 miles away from the Vine Pharmacy in Benton. The pharmacy's last day is Tuesday, April 15th.
It was take two for opening day at PNC Field. Baseball's back. I'm like a bear in a cave. I'm back. I'm out of the house. Everyone's here. We're all enjoying some baseball. Who doesn't love that? Said Chris Rodolfi of Pittston Township. The home opener was supposed to be on Tuesday, but the weather got in the way. The game was moved to Wednesday, April 9th, and split the doubleheader with one loss and one victory. When we come back, we'll tell you about the U.S. stock market skyrocketing.
When the Teen Titans go to the movies, they know the best way to travel is safely. To keep your child safe, be sure to use the right car seat for their age and size.
Exactly.
Hollywood, here we come! The Atom has arrived!
Have a seat, my dude.
For more information on finding the right seat, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Impressive!
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Those 9 months were also 273 days of planning. What about your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. And let's not forget those barbecues you plan in detail for your family and your more vegetarian by the day best friends. That surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
The Washington, D.C.-based Institute for Science and International Security titled its shocking new report, The Iran Threat Geiger Counter, Extreme Danger Grows. According to the study, since February 2024, the date of its last report, the threat posed by Iran's nuclear program has worsened significantly. Major negative factors include Iran's greater nuclear weapon compatibilities, its shorter time frames to build nuclear weapons, and the growing of normalization of international Iranian discussions favoring building nuclear weapons.
U.S. stocks skyrocketed Wednesday after President Donald Trump posted on social media that the authorized 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs that went into effect at midnight. With the exception of China, the Dow skyrocketed 2,963 points, or 7.87%, and the S&P 500 shot up to 9.51% in the massive turnaround. The S&P 500 posted its best day since October 2008. The Dow posted its best day in 5 years. Following Trump's announcement, investigators scooped up stocks and markets soared. Yet uncertainty remains as Trump still escalates the trade war with China, raising its tariffs rates to 125% from 104%.
The Supreme Court on Tuesday sided with the Trump administration and upheld the mass firing of tens of thousands of probationary federal employees, granting a request for an emergency administrative stay on a lower court order to block the firings. The majority of the High Court ruled that the plaintiffs, 9 nonprofit organizations who had sued to reinstate the employees, lacked standing to sue.
More than half of all expected federal tax returns have been filed, nearly 90 million as of March 28th, according to the latest filing statistics from the Internal Revenue Service. If you owe money to the IRS, you could be subjected to 2 different penalties, plus interest if you don't file and don't pay with what you owe by April 15th. The good news is that it's easy to avoid a late filing penalty. If you really can't get your return by April 15th, just submit your 4868 by next Tuesday to get an automatic 6-month extension. Your new filing deadline will then be pushed to October 15th.
The federal judge who blocked the Trump administration's use of a 1798 wartime law to immediately deport Venezuelan nationals canceled a planned Tuesday court hearing to review the case after the Supreme Court handed a win to the president. In a minute order published to Tuesday morning, U.S. District Judge James Boasberg announced that previously scheduled Tuesday afternoon hearing would be vacated in light of the higher court's ruling, which determined, among other things, that the appropriate venue for such proceedings is the Southern District of Texas, or whether plaintiffs that are subject to potential removal are currently being held.
Walmart, the largest retailer in the world, pulled its financial guidance for the quarter because of the uncertainty over the impact of sweeping tariffs on China, Vietnam, and other global sources of goods. Walmart said Wednesday it was unsure of its opening profit for the first quarter of the year because the retailer wanted to maintain flexibility to invest the lower prices as tariffs kick in. President Donald Trump instituted 10% tariffs across the countries. Last Saturday, China, however, faced higher tariffs as a rate of 125%. Still, Walmart maintained the sales during the quarter and will grow up to 4%. And Walmart reaffirmed its full year sales and profit guidance. Walmart expects sales to grow up by 4% this year.
New acting chief of Naval Operations CNO, Admiral James Kilby, said he regrets the Navy's reliance on expensive, high-powered missile interceptors to counter the Houthi threat in Red Sea and pledged to push for cheaper, more efficient solutions. Speaking to reporters at the Sea Air Space Conference in National Harbor, Maryland, Kilby said he was not concerned about the Navy's ability to protect its people, such as the 350 sailors aboard the USS Canary missile destroyer, or its ability to safeguard commercial shipping. He is concerned, however, about not having more ways to economically treat the threat.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is on the ground in Texas for the second time this year, as an ongoing multi-state measles outbreak centered out in the western part of the state has grown to one of the worst in the United States. It has seen decades. The CDC team of 3 is meeting with the state and local officials to assess the immediate needs to respond to the outbreak. The agency said, and more staff will be sent once the assessment is complete. After a formal request from Texas Governor Greg Abbott and the order from the Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., but recent threats confronting public health have made the response to outbreak more challenges than it may have and otherwise have been, experts say.
Up next, we have another story about the stock market.
President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff plan has unleashed turmoil in the stock market.
If you're like me, I am first generation in the stock market. So to see these type of drops is heartbreaking and very scary. And we need to acknowledge that and say, it's okay that you're scared.
When investors believe in a company's ability to deliver on the goods and services they've promised and consumer demand for them, that company's stock often becomes more desirable and pushes a company's value higher. Losses across the 30 diverse companies that compose the closely watched Dow, from Apple to McDonald's to Walmart, mean investors are anxious about what broad tariffs and a global trade war mean for the future.
The longer this lasts, the more of an economic drag it is, with uncertainty, both by the consumer, investor, and certainly people that run companies. And the longer that lasts, the more real economic damage we're doing.
When a company's stock goes down, they can eventually be challenged to make decisions about infrastructure, like hiring and the number of people they can continue to employ. They may also hike prices to cover costs, which can also squeeze consumers. And for those lamenting retirement losses as the market has turned down, experts say it's important to look forward, not back, and stay on top of that money.
What's really important to you always, whether you're taking a loss or not, is what will do well ahead.
Welcome back up. Next, we will check this week's weather forecast. Over to you, Brielle.
Thanks, Alexia. Today, it looks like we'll be getting rain most of the day, with temperatures only reaching about 45 and dropping to 37 in the evening. Saturday continues the showers during the day, with a high of only 43, but thankfully it will slow to only clouds for Saturday night and Sunday. Sunday's high will be 53, and it will be cloudy with a low of 40. Monday and Tuesday looks like we will have partly cloudy skies and temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Wednesday and Thursday is predicted to also be quite cloudy and temperatures will be dropping to the low to mid 50s. Moving into next Friday, we're predicting a slight chance of showers later in the day, a high of 55 and a low of 43. With your TVM weather forecast, this is Brielle Sheeland.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
TVM sports anchor Vincent Goldschmidt has the latest happening in Marywood and national sports. Over to you, Vincent.
Thanks, Katie. Marywood's track team is already one of the best teams for the university. After adding multiple athletes from other sports recently, the team has only continued to grow. Among the additions for the men's side is soccer sophomore midfielder Jaden Sterniolo and basketball senior guards Mason Mendegraw and Brandon Reed. Reed has made the biggest impact as in his first meet at the collegiate level, he recorded a 22-foot 1/4 inch jump in the long jump, the second longest leap in Marywood program history, resulting in his nomination as AEC Field Athlete of the Week. For the women's side, they added Allie Griscavage of the women's basketball team to pair with fellow multi-sport athletes on the roster like Lainey Straub and Leah Zambetti. Griscavage etched her name into the Pacers program record books with her discus throw, launching it just under 30 meters, good for 4th in history. The team has 4 meets left, including the Atlantic East Conference Championship, in which the men's team looks to clinch their 6th straight title, while the women's team looks to bounce back after back-to-back runner-up finishes. After both teams suffered a 1-goal loss to Marywood-University on Saturday, the Marywood lacrosse teams took out their frustration against the Centenary University Cyclones. The men's side had 15 different goal scorers, headlined by Seamus Scanlon's hat trick, as the men's team earned their first AEC win of the year, 21-1. Following up their overtime loss, the women's team battered Centenary, having 4 players notch hat tricks, including a double hat trick from senior attacker Courtney Harry. Each team is set to face Immaculata University next, with the women's team set to start this afternoon and the men's game set for tomorrow. UFC 314 is set for tomorrow night, with the main card kicking off at 10 p.m. Headlining the pay-per-view is a featherweight bout between Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. Volkanovski enters the night in his 10th consecutive title fight, losing 3 of his last 4, while Lopez is riding high, entering the octagon on a 5-fight win streak. Along with the title fight, Patty the Batty Pimblett looks to remain unbeaten in the UFC after submitting King Green in July of last year as he takes on Michael Chandler. The first of the 4 majors is in full swing as the Masters kicked off yesterday. Scotty Scheffler's historic 2024 year was culminated by his Masters victory a year ago, earning a green jacket for the second time in his career. Rory McIlroy enters Augusta National scorching hot with 2 victories on the year at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am and the Players, with the other 3 finishes all ranking within the top 20, searching for the elusive Masters win to give him a Grand Slam in his career. With 3 more days left of the granddaddy of them all, fans are in for a tradition like no other. The Toronto Blue Jays front office can breathe a little easier after finalizing a deal to keep superstar first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. north of the border. The 2 sides agreed to a 14-year, $500 million contract Sunday night. The contract is the 3rd largest deal in MLB history, sitting behind Shohei Ohtani's contract with the Dodgers in 2023 and Juan Soto's agreement with the Mets this past offseason. With the latest in sports, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. TVM News will return after these messages.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Up next, we have a story about a certain creepy crawler.
The soon-to-be moths that love to be in oak trees are all over here at Riverside Park in Oviedo, and the city wants you to be aware that they have hairs all over their body that can irritate your skin. The city of Oviedo wants people to be cautious of tussock moth caterpillars. While they don't sting, they can inflame your skin if you touch them.
We're asking people to just be mindful of them. Parents, visitors, if you bring your kids to your parks and you see one, don't play with it. They feel like fiberglass on your fingertips if you touch them.
The Florida natives come out this time of year. They cover trees and structures, finding a place to make their cocoons.
So caterpillars are an incredibly important piece of our ecosystem. They're food for all sorts of creatures.
Insect experts like Adam Dale say if you need to move them, use gloves or an object like a credit card to avoid contact.
They have little spines on them and they can break off into your skin, and that causes the primary skin irritation. But they do look like little brushes along their back. But those are the ones you don't want to come into contact with. In addition to some of the really long ones that they have sticking off the tips of their body.
If you do come into contact with one, remove any hairs with tape, wash the area with soap and water, and apply ice or a baking soda and water paste to soothe the skin.
I don't know about you, but that really gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, I did not like looking at that. Ugh.
Do you remember you picking up the little fuzzy white ones as a kid? And you'd keep them in a mason jar?
Yes, and sometimes whenever I'd grab it, it'd give me like a rash on my hand for some reason.
Yes, all the time. Yeah. All the time. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for this week's edition of TV-Marywood News.
Make sure to like and subscribe to the TVM YouTube page to see all of the latest TVM content, and follow the TVM Instagram to stay up to date with everything TVM has to offer.
For Vincent Goldschmidt, Brielle Sheeland, and everyone at TVM News, I'm Caitlin Klotz.
And I'm Alexia Bauer. Have a great weekend, Marywood.
I really hate